My sister lied about her son's brain surgery to ruin my $8,000 honeymoon, so I called CPS after finding him alone for 3 days starving on cereal. I was on a beach in Maui when Sierra called at 3 a.m. sobbing so hard she couldn't form sentences. Said Eli got hit by a drunk driver, that they were airlifting him for emergency brain surgery at the children's hospital, that she needed me right now. I didn't even pack properly, just threw clothes in a bag and ran to the airport. We begged the airline counter for emergency seats. Watched $8,000 in non-refundable bookings disappear. My husband Caleb held my hand the entire 14-hour flight while I sobbed. I kept trying to call Sierra for updates. Every call went straight to voicemail. No text back. Nothing. The second we landed at JFK, I called the children's hospital. The nurse said they had no pediatric trauma patients by that name. I felt my stomach drop. We called 6 hospitals. 6. Nobody had him. Sierra's phone was still dead, so we did the only thing we could think of. We drove straight to her house using the spare key she gave me for emergencies, except the door was already unlocked. I walked in expecting to see Eli in bed recovering. Instead, he was sitting on the couch in 3-day-old pajamas watching cartoons surrounded by a pyramid of empty cereal bowls. He saw us and his face lit up. Ran over and wrapped his arms around my waist, yelling, "Yay, you're back!" I knelt down trying to stay calm. "Where's your mommy? She left 3 days ago for her trip. Said she couldn't afford a babysitter, but you'd be back from vacation soon to watch me." Caleb looked at me. "Did you get hurt? Any accidents?" Eli seemed confused. "No, why would I be hurt? I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself." My hands were shaking. The fridge was nearly empty, just old milk and condiments. I called Sierra from her landline, and this time she picked up. I heard California Girls blasting in the background, slot machines dinging. "Hey, what's up?" She was slurring. "Drunk. What is going on, Sierra? You told me Eli was in surgery." She started cackling. Actually cackling like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. "I knew if I lied, you'd cancel your honeymoon. You were being so extra about it. Must be nice having money to throw around while single moms struggle." Behind me, Eli asked in the smallest voice if he could live with us. Said mommy didn't want him anymore. Sierra must have heard him because her tone switched instantly. Started screaming that I was turning her son against her, that this had been my plan all along. I hung up and called CPS right there. The woman on the phone sounded tired but took down everything. Said someone would come by tomorrow. Tomorrow wasn't good enough. I told her a 4-year-old had been abandoned for 3 days. She said since he had food and shelter, it had to go through proper channels, but they'd prioritize it. That night, Eli told us this wasn't the first time, that mommy did this when I was busy, that he knew how to use the microwave and where the cereal was kept. The social worker came the next morning. Her name was Ramona. She interviewed Eli gently, asked him about being alone. He told her everything. How he ran out of milk on day 2. How he was too scared to go outside. How he tried calling me but didn't know my number. 2 days later, Sierra showed up with her lawyer brother Derek. Served me custody papers. Said I had no right to keep her son. The first court hearing was a nightmare. Derek painted Sierra as a struggling single mom who made one mistake. Said I'd always been jealous that she had a kid. Even submitted my old therapy records from a bad breakup 5 years ago saying I was mentally unstable. The judge granted Sierra temporary custody. I had to pack Eli's things and watch him get dragged back to that house. He was crying the entire time. Sierra grabbed his hand so rough I could see her nails digging in. 3 days later, Eli showed up at our door at midnight, alone, in his pajamas, with a black eye. He'd walked 8 blocks in the dark, 4 years old. He said Sierra's new boyfriend Logan hit him for being too loud. That mommy told him to stop crying or Logan would hit him again, so he waited until they passed out and snuck out the back door. I called 911. The EMTs documented everything. The black eye, finger marks on his arms, a boot-shaped bruise on his back. We filed an emergency petition. This time we had proof. Medical records showing Sierra missed 6 of Eli's doctor appointments. Bank statements showing she'd been collecting disability benefits for him, claiming he had severe autism, while pocketing 2 years worth of payments and never taking him to therapy. The second hearing was different. Sierra's neighbor testified that Sierra had offered her $500 to lie and say she'd seen me giving Eli alcohol. Our private investigator found text messages proving it. When the judge asked Sierra about the disability fraud, she went white, couldn't answer, just stared at her lawyer. The judge terminated her parental rights completely. Cited fraud, child endangerment, and a pattern of using Eli as a weapon. Approved our adoption petition on the spot. That was 2 months ago. The adoption finalized last week. Eli wore a tiny suit to court, and when the judge declared him officially ours, he jumped into our arms yelling, "I have a real family now." This morning he asked if he could start calling me mom.